IDM remix of.
You ever listen to Steve Reich? Steve Reich, maybe? Steve Reich? The drumming? Anyway. I didn't even really sound like what I was going for.
Experimental drumming techniques.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's actually really cool.
It does sound neat. We're back.
Yeah, we're back. All right.
Dead Reckoning.
Dead Reckoning.
Part one?
Question mark? I don't know. I guess it's not called that anymore.
No, they did a 180.
Yeah. I wouldn't say a 180.
No, it's not a 180.
I would say they just followed through with what they were going to do anyway. Well, this is very exciting, listeners. Not for you, but for us. Mm-hmm. Because we are recording Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, 2023. Weird, eh? I know, because this was not that long ago that I watched it. In IMAX at Scotiabank with Jordan. And later tonight, in a mere 2 hours and 15 minutes.
It's going to be a long night. We are seeing the final Dead Reckoning.
Yeah. Dead Final Reckoning, Part 1 and 2 together. We're finally seeing the new Mission Impossible movie, which has been out for several days. This is the first Tuesday, Cheap Tuesday.
First time we're seeing it.
Opening weekend. First time we're seeing it.
Oh, it is Cheap Tuesday. You're right.
Cheap Tuesday.
Holy shit.
That's right.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you needn't pay me back for the tickets.
It was but a pittance.
It was a pittance, yeah.
We're gonna be up till 2 a.m.
I'm looking forward to it, at least, yeah. The movie will finish at like 1:15 a.m. I mean, hopefully the credits are like half an hour long.
Yeah,
we don't have to sit through those.
Oh, they're going to do something cool for the credits, though.
Well,
you already know.
I mean, actually, now that I mention that, I don't know if Alex has ever brought this up, but when you see a movie with me, I take movies very seriously. I'm pretty intense about people being on their phone and talking and so on.
Yep. But
I'm also, and this doesn't have, I don't police other people, but for myself, and, therefore the people who come with me, if they want to be polite, I stay for the whole credits of every movie.
This is true.
And read all the names. And not only I do that, I stand up and I salute the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. And,
Ben stuck around for the post-credits scene after the 5-hour Batang West Side. And I think I shouted to you from across the row, I got to go pee.
Yeah, that's right.
Desperately had to pee. But Ben soldiers on.
Yep. You'll never get to see the post-credit scene in bed. Yeah. Nick Fury is like, what's that? What was the fucking character's name? God damn it!
In Batang West Side?
The cop. I
can't remember.
The actor's name
Rodriguez?
is Joel Torres.
Oh.
Yeah, Joel Torres. I need you to defeat Kang.
I'm assembling a team.
Yeah. Well, we're wrapping up. We're wrapping up Mission Impossible. It's what a journey it's been, It
felt like a long one.
It has felt like a long one, yeah. I guess we took a week off, too.
Right,
yeah.
Yes.
I got fired like a dog.
Penn got fired. He came back.
I came back like a dog.
Yeah.
Yep, sniffing around like a one-eyed cat peeping in a seafood store. You ever hear that?
Yeah, that's... what was the punchline of that one again?
Well, it's a lyric in the original Hound Dog song.
Oh.
Before Whitey Elvis Presley took it, the man...
He didn't write Hound Dog?
No, certainly not.
I know.
Certainly not. Yeah.
He was just the face of the operation.
He also made it less sexual. I don't believe the lyric "I'm like a one-eyed cat peeping in a seafood store" is in his version. But then at the same time, he made it sexy by swinging those hips. Yeah, I know.
You could say your watch to those hips.
Yeah, you certainly could. Yeah, and what time would it be? Nobody knows.
6 o'clock.
I guess so. That's any time. That's any time for a couple of cocksmen like us. A couple of... Anyway, Alex and I are both getting laid. That's a new development on the show.
Yeah.
I hope you can tell in our relaxed atmosphere and demeanor, you can totally tell.
Yeah, you can hear it that we're smoking cigars and we're
in bathrobes.
Yep,
Yeah.
we're
in
sipping
open
on whiskeys.
bathrooms.
Yep.
Yeah, just
As we're wont to
disgusting.
do.
Just disgusting men.
Yeah, no. Serendipitously, Ben just met my new girlfriend. Oh.
I just met Alex's new girlfriend.
Yep.
We went to
BMV.
like one-eyed cats peeping in the seafood store. We went out for sushi.
Hey, yeah, that is true.
And yeah, I don't know. Seems pretty cool to me. Yeah. I'm happy Alex is in a relationship.
Oh,
I think that's
you.
cute. I think it's it was cute seeing him be all cute,
Oh, a lot of the female franchisees are throwing their phones against the wall now.
Oh, I know. Yeah, so many eligible bachelorettes listen
Nico,
to the show. Just absolutely crestfallen that Alex is off the market.
Jordan.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, everyone. But, we'll keep you updated.
No, we won't.
This is
this is the first and last you'll hear of
this
it.
This is a 500-year commitment, and, maybe in 400 years, things won't have worked out.
And so is this relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Every
That's
week,
beautiful.
The weekly romance roundup.
The weekly romance roundup. Can you imagine? That's great.
Don't want to.
This whole show is just going to start to be like couples therapy.
Again,
yeah, I like that idea. I think I'd be a good couples therapist.
Or
what
like
do you think?
One of those really kind of like lewd sex talk podcasts where we get really
I've been
graphic.
saying we should do that.
Yeah, you're right.
And they're all filmed. So you see these clips like on Twitter where it's a bunch of like guys, I'm not talking about guys. I'm talking about guys, like dudes, like bros. And they're all like, bro, I fucking fucked her last night. I fucking fucked. I did a fucking shit on my, got shit all over my cock. I'm so fucking horny. And then,
I want to send me these clips.
Oh, there's so many of them. And then, they'll have a woman on and they'll all be, they're all like just staring at her like, oh my God. There's a lady here, and then the lady will be like,
"Will you shit on my dick?"
The woman will be like, "I love sucking dick," and then all the guys will be like, "I can't believe she just said that. I can't believe she said that." And then they'll be like, "How many fucking dicks have you sucked in your whole life?" It's like, this is like a whole industry that we haven't tapped into.
And
it's not that we're not disgusting lewd men.
No, it's money on the table.
It's money on the table. We're not grabbing.
You're like gesturing to some beef jerky.
There's a extra large size bag of beef jerky.
My mom got it from Costco.
That's well, I was gonna say, where else? It's Jack Link's. That probably costs $500.
It's good protein.
Yeah, it's great. I've been eating jerky lately. Can you tell? Can you tell? Check it out. I'm flexing. Can you tell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, money on the table.
Money on the table. I don't know. Why not?
Yeah.
Like, why? If we're gonna sell out, like, okay, we're not gonna be right-wing grifters.
I don't think I could,
because there's too many hours of the podcast where you could go back and be like, okay, obviously this is a bit.
Yeah.
That they clearly don't believe in that. And that doesn't stop most grifters.
No.
but we don't want to get into that. We're not going to be manosphere guys necessarily, but we could be disgusting sex-having guys.
An offshoot of the manosphere, kind of a tangential cousin to the kind of black-pilled men's rights guys, the super stoked sex bros.
Yeah. I'm not kidding. I see these clips all the time on Twitter where they'll just be like, and it's just so banal too, right?
Yeah.
Because it's dirty, it's lewd or whatever, but the things they're talking about are not particularly edgy or transgressive. Mm-hmm. It'll just be like, bro, like I had sex 3 times yesterday, and the guy will be like, what? That's crazy. They all sort of sound the same. They all sound like, oh, fucking, or they're like, I actually like actually like to cuddle. You know what I mean? And it's all just very like they're like normal guys.
Yeah.
It's just that they film themselves talking about their dicks, I guess, which is really not far from what we're doing.
For vast sums of money.
Yes.
Is that all it takes?
I guess.
Talking about your dick.
Yeah, I don't think either of us really fit the like visual description of what those guys look like.
Unfortunately, no. We need more jerky.
They're pretty beefy.
Yeah.
they've been eating their daily Costco bag of jerky. They've been eating a giant Costco bag of jerky every day.
Multiple kilos of teriyaki jerky.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Kirkland jerk.
It's just a possibility.
Yeah.
That's all the show is just a multiverse of madness, you know? That's what I say.
True, yep.
It's like a couple of Doctor Stranges here.
There's
lost in the multiverse of madness.
Horny Doctor Stranges.
Yeah. Listeners, if you want us to start doing that, I write in, okay? Because our email's the franchiseespod@gmail.com.
That's the one.
Write in if you would like us to pivot away from cinema and towards a pussy. All right. Yeah.
It would be,
you know, all that sort of stuff.
It would be fun.
And beer. And also beer.
The franchisees now with pussy and beer.
Yeah. Cinema is dead. You know, long live cinema. Yeah.
Long live P&B.
P&B. Yeah, a couple of P&B sandwiches.
Yeah. Peanut and butter? Yeah. Oh, peanut butter, I guess, right?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Peanut and butter.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Okay. This is stupid.
Yep.
Anyway, if you want us to start being more stupid, write in subject line stupid, subject line increase stupidity.
Stupidity spelled with 2 O's.
Yes. And we'll take a tally and we'll let you know.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe we should just stick to mildly popular film franchises.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Easy come, easy go, man. That's what I'm all about.
That's what they say.
Yeah. We're here to talk about Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. And we're going to...
The first reckoning.
The first reckoning of 2 reckonings.
The first of 2 reckonings.
They're the first of 2 reckonings, the penultimate reckoning, but first we're going to talk about the movies we have watched recently.
Recently, within the last 5 weeks.
Yeah, because it's been a while since we've done it. And I'll try to be very brief. I swear to God. I know I always say that and I never do it. But first, why don't we talk about the new release movie we've both seen? That's
a great idea. Ben and I have both seen, at this point, Final Destination Bloodlines.
Yes.
And we both liked it.
Yes.
It's good.
It's good.
It's fun. It's funny.
I like all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know which one's the worst one, but the worst one of those is better than the best of many horror franchises.
I'm sure.
They're just very entertaining, and I think part of that is because the ultimate boogeyman being death, accidental violent death.
Rube Goldberg machines of death.
Yeah, is so much more terrifying to me and also hilarious than a guy... like a Jason guy going around and chopping your head off or whatever.
Absolutely. It is a genius conceit for a horror film or franchise.
It really is.
And I haven't seen the old ones in a long time. And I do remember some of them not being good. I don't remember what I thought wasn't good about them, maybe some of the acting or some of the effects or general hokiness.
Yep.
But the Rube Goldberg machine deaths are always awesome. And you could watch compilations of those on YouTube, similar to Saw Traps.
You certainly can.
Even if the connective tissue isn't very entertaining, those moments, like the Saw Traps, are a lot of fun.
As Jordan mentioned in the last episode, the Mission Impossible's set pieces,
the
right?
big set piece action sequences.
These movies are not so different.
And what I really appreciated about Bloodlines is, to me, again, I haven't seen the old ones in a while, but this one felt the most, dare I say, irreverent. And it had a Scream level of meta awareness, because there was one character who figured out how to cheat death and wrote a manual about how to do it, similar to how Jamie Kennedy has his rules to survive a slasher film in Scream or whatever. So to me, it felt and again, I haven't seen the old ones in a while, this one felt like they had the most kind of knowing fun in one of these that I'd seen in a long time.
Yeah, I think so. I watched all of them sometime during COVID, and I think they're all pretty fun. I think 1, 2, and 3 are better than whatever 4, 5, and I don't know how many there actually are. I don't know. Anyway, 2 will always kind of be my personal favorite, just because seeing that trailer as a child in the movie theater before Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers terrified me.
Yeah.
And I had been in a car accident as a kid, and I was like white knuckling the seat because the whole teaser trailer was just like basically the car accident scene without a lot of the violence, right?
Yeah.
And I remember my friend's mom who had taken us there was like, kept looking at me being like, oh no, like, he's gonna fucking freak out.
What have I done?
And then when I eventually saw it, like that was a big movie that me and my friends in high school really liked. It's so totally funny. It's so, I
remember everyone at school talking about it. Like,
yeah. But if you go back and watch because it's funny, it's very silly. The first one,
Sean William Scott.
The first one, with
Devon Sawa.
Sean William Scott and Devon Sawa, yes, Ali Larder, yes, and more. It's really good, and it's like there's a seriousness to it that is missing in some of the other ones.
Absolutely,
that I think is actually very scary. In particular, like after. The first person to die, like after the plane crash, right? When he gets like strangled in the bath or whatever,
right? Yeah.
And I think he killed himself because of he was upset that his brother had died in the plane crash. Like, it's very, very like melancholy. I love those movies, and you know what I really appreciated about this one too is that they give a nice send off to Tony Todd.
Yeah, he got to improvise his last line as a message to the audience or something like that.
Oh, nice. Yeah, very I like sweet. That. Where he's like, enjoy every second of it, because you never know when an MRI machine is going to rip the cock ring out of your dick. Yeah, that was very funny.
Oh my god!
Because when it's all set up and you know what's going to happen, I'm thinking like, okay, he's going to get the rings ripped out of him, and I'm thinking like, please do like a sight gag where his Prince Albert gets ripped out, and they did it. God. They knew it. They know what they're doing.
Uncle Howie getting his face run over by a llama. Like, so sorry for the spoilers.
Spoilers. People die.
Hope you've already seen this movie.
Yeah, people die.
It's a lot of fun.
It's funny.
A friend of mine, a coworker, actually sent me, shout outs to Eric, he sent me this article that was like an oral history of the pileup scene in Final Destination 2. And the kind of guiding principle that the creators were operating under, the one line in the treatment that they really focused on was the carnage is immeasurable.
Yeah.
Which I just find so funny, but also sick.
Yeah, that's great. And that's really how it feels in the second one.
The carnage is immeasurable.
It's like everybody's worst nightmare. Like plane crashes, a lot of people's worst nightmare for sure also. But just generally speaking, I think we're driving a lot more than we're flying, and I think everybody who's driven in a car or been a passenger in a car has thought about their fiery death in a horrible car crash at some point. And some of us, myself perhaps, maybe more than others, maybe watch a lot of car crash footage, read a lot about car crashes, and so on. But it's just it's like every awful thing. The impact of even just the log going through the cop's head.
Yeah.
That now every time somebody sees a truck full of logs on the freeway, like that's, if you've seen the film, that's where your mind goes instantly.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's they're really a superior horror franchise, and some of them get really silly, of course, and whatever. And this one's pretty silly too. But I thought it was good, and it felt like something we needed now.
Oh my god!
Yes. We need a good, silly, and mean-spirited horror movie that can still be about trauma, familial trauma, and this one is about that in some way, but loosely. But it's so much more interesting than so many of the other horror movies that try to, in some way, belong to that sort of elevated horror kind of label, where they're trying to reach for things that are out of their grasp.
Totally.
Whereas in this movie, it is the text of the movie. This is the bloodlines, in the title.
Yes.
But it's the movie itself is so silly and unconcerned with that sort of stuff that
it doesn't come across as pretentious or
not at all. Not at all. It's a very unpretentious film,
but
it's a very unpretentious franchise.
Totally, but I would say it really thematically, in terms of the familial trauma stuff, it's no shallower than a lot of those kind of like hoity-toity elevated horror. Like those don't really get as deep as they might like to think they do.
Yeah, exactly.
They're on the same kind of level, but this one's just infinitely more fun.
Yeah.
Than, I can't think of another example, but like, you know, like, I don't know.
Yeah, whatever. Hereditary.
Fuck you, Ari.
Yeah.
Eddington.
So easy to make fun of. Yeah, well, the Cannes Film Festival happened as it does every May, except on some notable occasions such as COVID and also the May uprising of the students in Paris. I'm pretty sure they canceled it that year as well, where the students killed everybody. It was a bloodbath. Yeah, any thoughts about that? Like, I think it's really cool. Jafar Panahi won the Palme d'Or. I'm really excited to see that.
I didn't realize he won.
I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, well, yeah.
Did he attend the festival in
Eddington
person?
did not win. Yes, he did.
Did he actually?
Yes, he did.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. And that film It Was Just an Accident, I believe it's called. Or it's something along those lines.
Yeah.
Sentimental Value, the new, I think, how do you say his name? Joachim Trier, I think is how you say it. Right?
Yeah,
like, Worst Person in the World and
still haven't seen. I need
Oslo,
to see
August
that.
31st.
Yeah.
I think you really like that one.
I know.
Anyway, lots of good stuff. I know a couple
Eddington?
people who were there. Eddington,
Cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I'd love to go someday.
Me too.
The thing is, it's just really expensive, and even if you're a journalist, it's really expensive. The best way to go is to get a film into the Cannes Film Festival.
One day,
yeah,
Ben.
Well, it's possible.
Charlie XCX was there.
Yeah, well, if she can make it, we can make it.
She was hearting, like, I follow her on Letterboxd, and she was like hearting a lot of stuff. Gave some stuff like 5 stars. Just logged Eddington without anything.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah. That's how you know. Yeah. Well,
fuck you, Ari Aster.
As somebody who has enjoyed the experience of watching Ari Aster's movies in the cinema, but not enjoyed the actual movies themselves all that much, I'm really looking forward to Eddington.
Me too,
because it looks like absolutely juvenile.
Yes.
And I think that's a great direction for him to go in after Beau is Afraid, which is very similar to Family Guy, and more similar to like later Family Guy than I think I've ever seen captured in a movie. For better or for worse. Yeah, lots of other good stuff there as well. New Kelly Reichardt, The Mastermind, that looks great. I don't know, lots of other stuff. A Chinese filmmaker, B. Gan. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, but I've seen a couple of his other movies, Kylie Blues, and also Long Day's Journey Into Night. And his new movie, Resurrection, looks incredible. And I'm really, really looking forward to that. Janus Films picked it up, so
nice.
It's gonna
Criterion Channel
be on the channel at some point, but it'll also go to theaters, which is great. Anyway, lots of good stuff. Should we talk about some other things you've seen? Why don't you go first? Because I don't have too many.
Rattle
off the list. So
I'll try to be quick too. I went to a screening of a movie we both really enjoy, Red Rooms, in theaters at the Paradise with the director in attendance.
Yes, put on by local film journalist Corey Attad.
Shout outs.
Shout out.
We've talked about this movie before. It was a lot of fun seeing it with an audience, because it is such a weird little tale. Yeah. And honestly, just a northern star. You know what I mean? Like a shining piece of Canadian cinema. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's effective. It's cool. It's unique.
Great movie. Yeah. Really, really smart.
Amazing performances from Juliette
Garibe,
and Laurie Babin. And then, sorry.
Worst podcast.
Worst podcast ever.
We are pivoting. We were going to pivot towards talking about.
They're hot. These French Canadian.
Yeah. This movie has ladies in
it. Then
check out all the babes on the Croisette at Cannes.
So here's another movie that we both saw also, The Shrouds, the new Cronenberg.
The Shrouds.
I love Cronenberg. I'm totally biased. I'll watch anything he does.
Yep.
This one was so Cronenberg. Like, it was just like, it especially felt like...
It's great, man.
Yeah, kind of like, this like later era Cronenberg reminded me a lot of Cosmopolis in a lot of ways.
Sure.
These types of Cronenbergs, they're not my favorite. You know what I mean? It felt kind of cold and distancing.
Oh, yeah.
But also like convoluted in a way that like didn't necessarily, captivate my mind and my attention.
Yeah,
but it was a lot of fun, like watching it. Like there are some kind of like, and I've seen some people like treat this as like a strength, like some weirdly stilted performances and dialogue.
Oh yeah.
To me, it was all just a bit too alienating and distancing for me to love it, but like it's still a Cronenberg. It's still like such an awesome, unique time in the movie theaters, and this one has so many fucking themes like thrown at you on screen. You know, like at first I was like, oh whoa, like surveillance grave sites, that's super Cronenberg, and then it becomes like, I don't know, about like conspiracy theorists and conspiracy theories as aphrodisiacs, and then like
that one of the great sex scenes in recent cinema, I would say, between him and his dead wife's sister, where the more conspiratorial he's getting, the hotter she gets. Really, really funny.
I saw it with a friend of the pod, past and future guest Paul, and he pointed out that like Cronenberg loves a one tit exposed, you know, because I think in that scene, like she just has one breast. And then similarly in Crash, I think there's a scene where James Spader just there's Holly Hunter exposes her breast or something like that. Is it Holly Hunter?
Interesting.
Anyway,
yes.
It's the one tit theory.
Interesting. Yeah. There's been a lot of great writing about Cronenberg. I don't know if that's been brought up. So
keep an eye out.
Yeah. This is something film academics should look into.
I think so.
Definitely.
Yeah. I saw May at the review. The weird little American independent. It's so much fun.
Yeah. Great. Angela Bettis, right? Is really good in that movie.
She's awesome.
Yeah.
Really horny, interesting performance from Anna Faris. Mm-hmm. Really fun to see 6 feet under heartthrob Jeremy Sisto.
Yeah, that's right.
Greg Araki's muse James Duvall's in it for like a quick little scene.
Yeah.
It feels so much like an early 2000s like quirky American independent like horror film. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of fun. And then with the final sequence that I found genuinely kind of beautiful and touching.
I don't even remember what happens. Don't spoil it.
Okay.
Don't spoil it.
I watched the remake of The Hills Have Eyes.
Oh, that's a real grimy movie.
It's grimy, and it was grimy in a way.
A lot of grimy horrors
that I wasn't really in the mood for when I watched it.
Yeah, it's very that is very much at the torture porn kind of time in the early 2000s,
and it felt kind of shoehorned in.
Yeah, it's pretty nasty.
Yeah.
I remember finding it quite upsetting watching the on TV probably.
Yeah.
As a youngin'.
Which I do respect that it is as grimy and as like really on, like people are getting impaled with American flags and stuff like that. It's very on the nose.
Well, it's directed by a Frenchman, you know.
Alexandre Aja.
Yeah.
Who did High Tension.
Yes.
But also the weird little mutant girl in it who takes like pity on the family and on the baby is named Ruby, which I found very funny.
Because that's the name of your girlfriend.
There it is.
Name reveal. Alex's girlfriend.
Hard
name
launch.
reveal. Hard launch.
I saw Friendship, the Tim Robinson Paul
funny,
Rudd movie. Yeah.
Pretty funny.
Super funny.
Yeah.
It was great to go to a theater and laugh.
Yeah.
I do think it creatively brought to life, certain facets and scenarios that kind of speak to, it externalized some very internal, incredibly socially anxious feelings.
Mm-hmm. The male loneliness epidemic.
Yeah, that too. And, if you find Tim Robbins' shtick funny, like he just gets to, make the funniest quips. More than like the big comedic set pieces, it's just some of his like throwaway lines, that are so good.
We should go see that new Marvel tonight.
Yeah. People are losing their minds.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Then what else have we got here? And then Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning, and then Final Destination: Bloodlines.
Nice.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, way to go. Well,
thank you.
Let's have a little look here.
Here it comes. The scroll. Ben's unraveling the scroll.
I'm unveiling my new persona, the Cinema Witch.
Come here, my pretties. Let me tell you of the Purple Rose of Cairo.
Gingerbread house. What are they? Oh, geez. When do we? Oh, geez.
No.
Oh, geez, man. I don't fucking know. Well, all right. War Horse, Steven Spielberg.
Nice.
Meh.
Based on a play.
Don't need it. Saw the play. Play's good. Play has big puppet horses. This one, this is the thing, is like, oh my God, there's so many movies. Okay, this is I completed Spielberg's filmography and Cronenberg's filmography.
Hey.
So Spielberg, I had to watch War Horse, which I think is probably one of his less good movies. However, because it's Spielberg, there are still moments, like certain scenes that are absolutely beautiful that I never would have thought to film in the way that he films it. And it's worth watching, like as part of the auteur project. And then I also watched his film, his first feature, not counting Duel, Sugarland Express, which is also quite good and worth seeing. Let me see here. I watched Better Man, the Robbie Williams monkey movie.
Ah, you watched the monkey movie.
Yep. I'm not immune to the delirious highs and lows of watching a monkey snort cocaine.
I want to see that.
Yeah.
I want to see a monkey man snort cocaine.
Yeah, and you know what? It's actually a pretty good musical, too.
That's great.
Yeah. I watched The Monkey, the Osgood Perkins movie.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Can't wait.
Stupid.
So excited to watch it.
Terrible.
Osgood Perkins, horror icon in the making.
Jeez. Not for me, baby. Especially having now seen the new Final Destination, which this is kind of like.
Okay.
It's just a complete different type of tone that I am not interested in. It's very smug, and the Final Destination is not.
No.
It's mean, but it's not like smug.
Interesting.
And this one is this is like a real shit-eating grin on his face type movie.
I'll still watch it.
Yeah, I saw it was bad.
It's about the monkey from Toy Story 3, right?
It's about the monkey from Toy Story 3 that Disney copyrighted. Yeah. The Shrouds, loved it. Charlie Victor Romeo, plane crash. Watched it before I went on a plane. Plane crash. Galaxy of Terror, heist, flight risk. Terrible.
Okay.
Just as Jordan said, truly terrible.
I do want to watch it.
Really quite bad.
I'm still gonna watch it.
You should. It's exactly the kind of good, like, bad movie, because it's just like oh man, it's so bad, man. All right, a couple of good movies. John Renoir's The Southerner, one of his American films, and Anthony Mann's The Man from Laramie, one of his Jimmy Stewart westerns.
Cool. Big
recommendations here. Deadstream, which is a what am I trying to say? Found footage horror movie that I thought was fine. You know, it's pretty low budget, like Shudder original sort of style thing. But the main,
like a play on live stream.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah. He's in a haunted house and there's real witches and whatever. The thing that is actually the best and worst thing going for it is the main guy is like this annoying, like, influencer YouTuber guy. And I think he's also one of the writers and directors. And he's giving a very committed performance where a lot of the time he's just running around going, ah, ah, ah. and I'll tell you, like, it's pretty funny every time he yells, because he kind of yells in a certain way. I'm not really capturing it right, but it was pretty funny. Awesome. Just watching him yell a lot. But you know, we're talking like it's like a 3-star sort of, a generous 3-star. Okay.
Did you see before Final Destination the trailer for the new Shudder movie coming out with our old friend of the pod, Jai Boomerang, where he's just like a guy who
that's who it was.
Yeah, it was Jai Boomerang.
Yeah, right. I was trying to remember. It's like, this Australian's familiar to me. But
I'm gonna feed you to some fucking sharks.
Yeah, that looked pretty bad to me.
I kind of want to see it.
So I was sort of half paying attention. I was like on my phone. It's a trailer, right? I'm trying not to watch it. But yeah, the little snippets I'd look up and it would just be some Australian bogan who's out on a ship with some kidnapped women who he's dangling over the
sharks.
Side.
Yeah, he's a serial killer who kills people with sharks.
So stupid. Cinema is dead, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna feed you to a fucking shark.
You're lucky I don't get my boomerang, you cunt.
It's just dumb, man. That's so funny. I can't believe I didn't put it together that it was him. I was like, well, this has got to be somebody. and not only is it somebody, it's Australian royalty. He's on their money.
Yes, it's true.
That actually is true.
Not the actor, the character, Captain Boomerang.
Captain Boomerang, yeah, is on their money. Yeah.
Okay, you have Captain Boomerang on one side and then like a kangaroo on the other.
Yeah, well, please, that's stereotypical.
Sorry.
It's a koala. We also, let me see, when I was seeing my folks, this is when I completed David Cronenberg's filmography, and they had a parade for me. It was great. M. Butterfly.
Oh, yeah, which, he did do that.
Yeah, which I thought was... It definitely feels like an outlier for him, but I was pretty impressed.
Jeremy Irons is in it as well, right?
Jeremy Irons is in it, yeah, which is great. And my mom asked me, "Is Jeremy Irons gay?" And I was like, "Oh, I've got a great video to show you." And I forgot to show it to her. I forgot to show her the video where he says, "Could not a father marry his son?" Oh, I'm sorry, Judith. I'll show it to you next time.
Sorry, Jeremy.
Sorry, Jeremy. And we watched Orson Welles' Othello because I went to see the Broadway play Othello. My parents were supposed to join as well. So we watched that. And
0 stars, problematic.
Zero stars. Well, at one point my mom did ask, "Wait, is Orson Welles in blackface?" And I was like, "Well, yes, it's Othello, you see." And for a long time, this was the way that it was performed. Yeah, it's not as egregious as the Laurence Olivier 60s film, which is something I'm also curious to see. That, just from looking at still images of it, I mean, that's like a crime against humanity. This one is still, obviously, he's in blackface. It's problematic, absolutely, but it's not quite as heinous as some of the other examples.
Okay.
It's actually a very, very good movie as well. Ride Lonesome, Bud. How do you say his name? Bud
Dwyer.
Bud. Yeah, directed by Bud Dwyer before he blew his brains out.
Stand back.
Beyond a Reasonable Doubt, the final American film from Fritz Lang, which I enjoyed quite a bit.
Cool.
A Woman of Paris, Charlie Chaplin's silent film that he does not star in, that is also not particularly funny, which I did enjoy. But at the same time, I was like, well, okay, there's a reason this is the one I haven't seen. I do prefer it when he's in there. But, that's definitely something you should see if you're interested in Chaplin. I wasn't going to be able to go to... friend of the show, he certainly has never listened to it, but maybe future guest, Zachary Lacoste, who's a local filmmaker and actually is one of the streetcar riders in Cherub.
Cool.
His film Imperial Green played at Bleeding Edge at the Paradise.
Super cool.
But I was away for it, so I asked him for a link, and I saw it before, and I really liked that, and I watched some of his shorts as well. So that was really cool to see that, and it's shot in high frame rate. So I do really like it. Actually, it works really well on a computer, but I do wish I saw it in a theater because I don't know. I think there's. It's just funny how that kind of came and went a little bit, like, with some of the Hobbit movies and the Ang Lee's experiments, like Billy Lynn's Long Halftime Walk and Gemini Man Gemini Man, and it's just kind of never, But instead of doing it for big budget action spectacle, doing it for like very kind of low key introspective drama is way more interesting. So I officially have said it. Zachary Lacoste, a better filmmaker than Ang Lee and Peter Jackson.
Whoa.
Boom.
Following
Done.
in the footsteps of hobbits.
Yeah, I have to tell him to listen to this episode now. I watched David Mamet's Homicide because I was seeing Glengarry and I wanted to get kind of further Mamet in the Mamet zone.
Life on the Streets.
Yeah, I thought it was really good.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it's probably the best movie of his I've ever seen.
Oh.
I haven't seen House of Games. I know that's the other big one.
That's a good one.
Homicide, really good, and it's on the Criterion Channel. You should watch it. I think you would really like it, actually.
I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, Sleuth, the original Sleuth with Michael Caine and Laurence Olivier, formerly of Othello fame. Pretty entertaining little two-hander play. Little Murders. I watched in New York,
cool.
and it was great, like New York anxiety panic attack movie, directed by Alan Arkin, a friend of the show.
Do your Alan Arkin impression.
I can only do it when it's in this movie, The 7% Solution, where Alan Arkin plays Sigmund Freud, and it's a Sherlock Holmes movie where Sherlock Holmes is like addicted to cocaine that Dr. Watson takes him to Vienna to meet Sigmund Freud to get over his cocaine habit.
Wow.
And it's really quite a fun movie, actually. Alan Arkin as Sigmund Freud kind of just sounds like Alan Arkin. So he says, there's some line where he says something like, Sherlock, I can help you get over it. I've done cocaine and lived to tell the tale. And now he sounds too much like Trump.
You do a good Alan Arkin.
Yeah, he sounds something like that. Where
Sherlock.
He's like Sherlock, you have to stop injecting yourself with 7% cocaine. Yeah. Anyway.
Sherlock, what are you doing?
Sherlock.
You're good.
Little Miss Sunshine. You got to stop injecting.
You got to fuck a lot of people, Paul Dano.
Yeah, that's right. You know what? I know that movie's like kind of the corny Sundance movie or whatever.
It's good. Fuck it.
He's good in that. He's good in it.
I think the movie's good.
I don't know. I'd have to see it again. Maybe we're too jaded now.
I'm saying it's good.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. You're right. Little Murders. You have to watch Little Murders.
Yeah, I know.
Elliot Gould.
Of Little Murders. I know it's a play as well. I've never seen the movie.
Jules Pfeiffer. Really good. Really funny. And just like cool movie to watch while you're in New York, because you walk out and you're like, I'm gonna get killed.
I am gonna watch it while it's on the channel.
You should.
I will.
Liquid Sky, midnight movie at the IFC Center with my friend Joel. Really great 80s New York, neon, like no wave punk scene kind of movie. Very cool. Aliens, heroin, loved it. We watched Bananas, Woody Allen's Bananas. I don't know. Some of it's funny.
I'm sure.
And then, on my last day there, we went to MoMA and watched a screening there of Larry Gottheim's Horizons, which is an experimental film, and they played this like original 60 millimeter print, and it was really cool. Great screening. I didn't get a lot of opportunities to go to movies in New York, but this one felt very much like something I couldn't see elsewhere. Like, maybe TIFF would do a retrospective of his stuff, but they just don't really do that sort of stuff these days. They don't really have a lot of, it just seems a little bit more commercial minded lately, which is fine.
Pisses me off.
Anyway, really cool. And it was especially neat because the movie's silent and there's no accompaniment or anything like that. So the soundtrack of the movie was, people's coughs and shuffling around in their seats, and then you could hear the subway going. So like every 15 minutes or even more, it would be like thunk, 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 thunk. Yeah. Anyway, I felt like a real New Yorker. Hey. And I looked around too, and I'm like, these are all these New York film Twitter people. I was like, I recognize you from your tweets.
That's
but
awesome.
I can't go up and tell you.
No.
It's just embarrassing.
Admire from afar, like in a zoo.
Exactly, like in a zoo. Yeah, Zoo York. That's what they call it. I came up with that.
Brooklyn Zoo.
I came up with all that,
That's
but
true.
They stole it from me. They made millions of dollars. Went to the M&M store. It's not a movie, but it felt like a movie. There's some bizarre stuff in the M&M store.
Your life a movie.
My life a movie. So true. For real. They had in the M&M store the M&M Kate Spade New York collection.
That's sick.
Where they had an M&M Kate Spade purse and an M&M jewelry set that was like $200. The only thing in the M&M store behind a glass case. Anyway, that store is insane.
I'm sure.
It's just, my friend was like, we have to go. It'll be funny. He was stoned too. It's like, I was like, all right, let's go. We didn't buy anything, but just walking around, I was like, are M&Ms popular like this? Like, no. Oh. People were buying stuff with the M&M characters, and I overheard people just being like, this is my favorite of the M&M characters. like what? Do they have that much cultural purchase? I don't think so.
The hot one did.
The hot one, of course.
Yeah.
I took a lot of pictures with her. Yeah. Oh yeah. I took a lot of pictures.
Wait, with her? I was talking about the yellow peanut M&M.
I took a lot of pictures with him too. Yeah. I took pictures with all of them. My phone is out of space because of the pictures I took at the M&M
characters.
Okay, and then in LaGuardia Airport, in a corner tucked away where I could plug in my iPad, I watched the notorious bomb North, Rob Reiner's film North, which ended his streak of amazing work, you know? And it's this awful children's film with young Elijah Wood and a bunch of stars about this kid like getting emancipated from his parents, and it's just terrible. Wow. It's a famous like Roger Ebert review where he says, "I hated this movie, hated this movie."
Wow!
And I read the review again, and I'm like, you know what? Like, when he's right, he's right. It's a pretty bad movie. Jack Nicholson's Going South. Okay. This is for the Nicholson heads only. The Deep. This, which I would say is for the Nolte heads only. If you're looking for young Nolte, that would be a good place to start. Not particularly good. And then two good movies. Stephen Frears' The Hit with Terrence Stamp, young Tim Roth, and John Hurt.
Wow.
I'm telling you, as a fan of the British gangster film, you absolutely should see The Hit.
Okay.
Because it is the existential British gangster film that I know you will like.
Okay, great.
Yeah, it's really quite good. I actually think I underrated it maybe because I've been thinking about it quite a bit, being like, you know what? Like, that's a really funny British gangster movie that I think informs Steven Soderbergh's The Limey with Terrence Stamp quite a bit. It'd be interesting to watch that again. And then I also watched Abbas Kiarostami's first feature film, or second, depending on how you define a feature, The Traveler, which, and I don't know, I've just been thinking about Kiarostami lately, I guess. Maybe it was partly because Panahi won the Palm, and I was thinking of other like great Iranian filmmakers and was sort of looking. And so much of the Kiarostami I watched was in like 2016, which is almost 10 years ago. So I really do want to watch the those movies again, especially the Coker trilogy, which I think we will do on the show at some point when we want to do a Fancy Lad one. Yeah. Anyway, this is like his first movie, and it's pretty rough around the edges, but it's still, you watch it and you're like, there he is, like that's the GOAT, as they say. And, one of the greater because a lot of his films have really great like child performances in them. And this kid in this movie, you just want to smack him. You're like, this fucking kid. And he gets what he deserves.
Oh, nice.
I know.
A grand piano falls on him.
Well, pretty much, yeah. The grand piano of life falls on him, yeah. Nice. Anyway, good stuff, good movies. That's a lot of movies.
Yeah, that's the episode.
Yeah, Dead Reckoning is fine. I actually think it's pretty fun.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I don't know, 3.5, 4 stars.
Yeah, I'd give it 3.5.
Yeah, comfortable 3.5. Yeah.
Totally.
Let's go see the new one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
No,
we gotta talk about it a tiny bit, right?
We gotcha.
Though I am having the same problem I've kind of had with all these movies where I don't really know what to say. I don't know what to focus on. I just like it's keeping in line with this tradition of Christopher McQuarrie Mission Impossible movies.
Yeah.
Where I guess I don't think it's as good as Fallout. It's quite long. It's a long one.
It's long.
And I know you and Jordan were kind of saying that the villain is kind of lame. The combination of the entity and Gabriel working as the entity's
I know,
force in the real world.
He's a bit of a dud. I mean, it's just because, so like we were talking about in the last episode with Jordan, like Fallout really is the climax of these movies. I mean, it feels like it just in the text of the film, but then also in the metatext, the Tom Cruise metagame, it feels like the pinnacle of that.
Yeah.
And so now, what do? Well, they have to. I mean, they certainly don't have to, and perhaps they shouldn't have. But I guess they felt they had to end it off with a 2-movie climax, multi-year climax that is going to, tie everything together and retcon a bunch of stuff and bring it all together, Architect of All Your Pain style. When I was editing that, I was like, I do say that a lot.
But like you're right. Like they open it with that kind of flashback of like Gabriel killing another woman that Ethan Hunt was involved
another brunette,
with.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because like, there's this moment later on where it's like, everyone you ever care about, and then you just see like flashes of Rebecca Ferguson, like this new woman he just met.
2 similar looking women.
Well, like it's just so funny to think that like, Ethan Hunt at his core, like he goes through these like, high intense situations is trying to save the world. but he's mostly motivated by the women in his life that he cares about. You know what I mean? It's very funny.
It is funny, and it's silly, and for me is not as interesting as the films before it, sort of because of that. It just feels like they didn't really have anywhere to go. They can't really ratchet up the tension anymore, because I feel like Fallout is just about as crazy as it gets. Mm-hmm. And now it's just got to be like, okay, he is... I like the idea of him like taking on AI. Mm-hmm, sure. I think that is a great, meta element, right? Of Tom Cruise, like the last movie star, although, that's up for debate, I guess, but one of the last great movie stars, who does everything, by the book, and
except for eating popcorn.
Except for eating popcorn, yeah. And who does as much as he can, will do something for real. And sure. wants to have films that have a tactility to them that separates them, I think, from a lot of modern blockbuster filmmaking, which, if not literally made by AI, certainly feels like it has been generated by AI, both in a screenwriting sense and visually and cinematically.
There's something poetic about that.
There is, but it's not as interesting as like Tom Cruise is a freak who has to save the world to prove to you that he's like a good guy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and not like a monster. That is always more interesting to me than anything else. And the introduction of the Haley Atwell character in this, like, I think she's good. I like her. I think she's good. I think it's an interesting enough character, but it's I don't know. It feels like she's there just for him to have to make this choice between saving her and saving Ilsa.
Totally.
And Ilsa gets killed, and then you're like, all right, well, I guess this is his new Ilsa, and
he's instantly like, prioritizing over everything. Mm-hmm. Like he's instantly like, I will never let you die.
It's like, I just met you, but I'll never. But you're right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just it's silly. It's a pretty messy movie.
Yes.
But I kind of like appreciate that. And from what I hear, and we will confirm this soon enough, this one it just goes even further. And I'm happy. I'm looking forward to enjoying that, even if it's not as good. But, if I had my way, Tom Cruise would have crashed a plane immediately after Fallout, and there would be no more movies.
It is messier because from the jump, Mission Impossible has kind of been like convoluted, and like really naughty in their plots. But this one, I guess it feels like emotionally messier with like how many people you're meant to kind of like care about and stuff. Because I was watching
my friends.
Yeah,
that scene is so funny.
I had this full circle moment where I realized how much I appreciated what Rebecca Ferguson's Isla Faust kind of brought to the French. I thought she was a great kind of femme fatale opposite Ethan Hunt. She felt like she had as much chemistry as one could with an enigma like Tom Cruise, like
yeah. Oh yeah.
So, and I was bummed when her character died, seemingly.
Do you think she'll be back?
I don't know. I certainly hope she is.
I think she'll be back.
Those thighs don't die.
Ah, you dirty dog. I have been very successful at not seeing any spoilers. That isn't to say people are being good about it.
No.
People have been sharing cam rips of full scenes. I'm just dodging them like traffic. I'm really trying to be careful. And I don't think I've had anything kind of ruined.
I haven't, for sure.
I'm looking forward to that. Maybe she'll come back. Maybe she'll be back.
I hope
she'll be back. You'll see. She'll come back.
Because and like you said, it felt like Haley Atwell was there, so Gabriel gives him a choice. Obviously Gabriel has to kill someone he loves, and I guess Michelle Monaghan wasn't available. I don't know.
Yeah. But do you want to kill Ilsa Faust, the character you've been building up for the or New Girl? Yeah. Hi, I'm new here.
New Girl has to have her like Day in the Sun or something like that. But I was kind of watching it, wishing that maybe all of the stuff Haley Atwell did was Rebecca Ferguson, you know, just and then like have the balls to like really kill off like, you know, a major character, make it like feel very important because she's so conveniently introduced. So when Gabriel starts talking about how like one person you love must die, you're like, okay, well, it's going to be fucking Rebecca Ferguson because they just brought in new blood or whatever.
He brought in a new brunette.
That for him to like obsess over and be like,
I will never let anything. Yeah,
you will never die. Like,
I've just met you and I am obsessed with you and nothing bad will ever happen to you.
You will live forever. I promise you. Like it's, it felt kind of cheap in a way that these movies haven't felt cheap, and it's still fun. For sure, it's still fun. This one actually like almost felt like the most. I mean, it's not like really cartoonish, but it still felt the most cartoonish out of the most recent one.
It is, yeah,
because you have Palm Clementieff as like this like
so cool
badass like assassin who's like having a ball ripping through the streets of Paris in a giant black Humvee or something.
Yeah. And then when she's like got the like clown makeup on or whatever.
Yeah,
it's very comic booky.
Yeah.
She feels like ripped out of some
Suicide
other movie.
Squad or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she's a very welcome addition, and I'm glad she's coming back.
Right,
the new one. Yeah,
because Gabriel had to kill her for some reason, or like wound her, so that
I don't know. Who cares?
I didn't get that at the end.
Gabriel's an enigma. Is an enigma. Yeah. Wait, did I miss it? They show him going into his weird oxygen or his weird like chamber, right? Don't they show him like? Do they? They show him.
He's in the storage.
Yeah.
He's in trunk in the train, and Palm Clementieff pops open the trunk, and he's got like a Darth Vader mask.
Yeah. Okay, right. I was pretty sure that happened. So I'm excited to see more of that.
Yeah.
Because this one does feel cartoony, and apparently this one, the one we're seeing tonight, will be as well. And I'm all for that because it also feels kind of more like they've been taking more of a page from the De Palma a little bit. There's a lot of canted angles, a lot of Dutch angles and whatever. I don't know if there's any split diopter shots, but there's a certain feeling to it. And then of course bringing back Kittredge, right? Who I like quite a bit.
And introducing Carrie Ellis.
Yeah. Who really fumbles his bag, you know? He thinks he's got it all figured out. And then he gets his throat cut.
Yeah.
By the silliest villain. So there's one scene too when in the train sequence at the end, we're jumping all over typically, and he gets away, or Ethan gets away, right? And Gabriel does get to go a little hammy and go, Ethan. Yeah, I'm really hoping for more of that in this new one, because if he's a pretty, I think he, as a villain, as a presence, he's not particularly interesting. It's a bit of a dud. So the one way to solve that is to make him a little bit more ludicrous, maybe. Like that's the funniest part of the movie for me, is when he's riding away in his coal car or whatever, and he goes, Ethan. Yeah. I'll get you next time, Batman.
Yeah, he's just kind of disappointing in the sense that he's another super smart, super powerful just foot soldier, and then he's working for an AI. He's working for ChatGPT.
yeah,
because his ideology is incredibly steeped in nihilism, I guess, or something. Like,
who knows?
Yeah,
that is a funny scene at the party where they go to this club, and it's like, wow, this like high tech cool club, and then Gabriel's like, well, the entity is here. In fact, the entity is the party.
Yeah.
And they look around, and the camera goes like all woo, and the AI being represented by basically it's
like the Eye of Sauron but blue.
Yeah, like a screen like that sort of looks like a spinning loading wheel.
Oh, or when you would set your like Windows music player to like the visualizer.
Yeah, it's a
for
visualizer.
When you played, like,
exactly.
trance music or something.
Yeah, and it makes that little noise, this little computerized like wop, 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 wop.
Yeah. Like that's it.
It's just funny, and you're looking up at the screen like, oh my God, spooky. Oh no.
Vanessa Kirby's like crying, she's like, I have to.
I love her.
Yeah, she's great.
She's kind of MVP in the scene at the end too, right? Where she's playing Haley Atwell, playing her.
She does a great job.
Very good. I remember being really impressed with that the first time I saw it, because it really does feel like a very weird sort of out of body like kind of performance.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's lots to like about it. I think it is kind of silly, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, and messy. And I'm fine if I kind of want the new one this new one to be really silly and messy, and I hope it is. And by all accounts, it is those things. Yeah. But as far as the set pieces go, like what really stood out to you?
I thought it was kind of cool that it opens with this kind of weird tense scene of like a ghost submarine fight. It was kind of neat that the whole time Gabriel knows the location. There's a cruciform key in two pieces, which is a great MacGuffin,
and a very well designed prop.
Totally.
You're gonna see that key a lot, and you're gonna feel like it matters, even if it's just a MacGuffin.
Yeah.
So they did a good job, designing it. It's just funny when they put them together.
Yeah.
And it goes bleep bloop bleep.
The lights light up.
It looks like a Cracker Jack toy.
Yeah. You completed me. Yeah.
This movie is silly, eh?
It is silly.
Yeah.
And I did think it was cool that they introduced Dead Reckoning as this kind of stealth technology on the submarine that makes it completely untraceable or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then for the rest of the movie, no one really knows about that. And I imagine they're finally going to get to the submarine in this
He's
movie.
going to get in the submarine. I can't wait.
He's getting in there, yeah.
He's going to get wet.
For the final reckoning.
I cannot wait for him to have one more reckoning in the submarine. And then apparently a biplane as well. We've seen that.
Yes, I saw it on a poster. What were the other big set pieces? There's another car chase in this one, I think, in Italy.
Yeah, it's pretty well done.
It's executed well.
With the handcuffs, right? And then they're in the little car.
Always funny.
Lots of good gags.
We got to drive a small car.
Yeah, people have been talking, sharing clips and stuff, and all about some of the kind of silent movie sequences, right?
Yeah, Buster Keaton and shit.
Yeah, it really is like that. He does a really good job of visualizing those little tiny micro beats, storytelling beats within the larger set piece.
Absolutely.
It's well done.
It is. But I was watching it and I was like, yeah, there's another one of these incredibly well executed car chases in Fallout.
Yeah,
I know. The big set piece that was advertised so much is the big motorcycle jump. Towards the end, I was actually surprised. It's part of the climax of the movie.
Yeah.
I was surprised that they drummed up so much publicity about it when it first came out, when it's literally the end.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
And it is cool, but he also jumps from a high distance in Fallout too, So
yeah.
I mean, it was fun. He's trying to intercept this train, and the train, Gabriel, he sets it to max speed and kind of locks it at that. So he's trying to find another way to intercept it. Haley Atwell is in disguise as Vanessa Kirby, and she's having a hard time because she's never really done the whole mask deception thing. So they do a good job building up some tension while she's dealing with that, and Tom Cruise is supposed to be there, but he's racing trying to get to the train.
Yeah.
And then, he has to go off the big jump, which you see in the commercials, which he jumped in Fallout. But it's very funny, a Deus Ex Machina moment where her ruse is kind of revealed, Haley Atwell, and she's being held at gunpoint, and then Tom Cruise just smashes through the train window.
Yeah, and an anonymous goon walks up being like, "I'm coming to get you," and he gets taken out by Tom Cruise
flying in through the window.
Yeah, who would have been killed instantly as he smashes through the train. It's very funny.
It is very funny.
I remember in the theater that was a big LOL moment, as they call it in the biz. Yeah,
and Tom Cruise actually did that. He parachuted in through the window and smashed that guy.
Yeah, that guy died. That guy is dead.
Yeah.
That's why they did. That's why he wasn't an established actor. It's just like
he's expendable.
Yeah, he's expendable.
Yeah.
It's just he's an extra. I don't even think that henchman guy doesn't have any lines.
Yeah,
and that's so you don't have to pay him the SAG like extra money, right?
He's who Tom Cruise was yelling at during that clip.
Yeah, well, we will be including the Tom Cruise rant, COVID protocols rant.
These are people's fucking jobs.
Yeah, and you know what? He's right. He's so right. Yeah. I'm going to initiate ghost protocol on all your asses. That's what he says.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he did, too.
Yeah.
He did. Yeah, famously. Yeah.
Guy's a ghost now.
Yeah. There's a lot of ghosts. There's a lot of ghosts in these movies.
A lot of bones in his closet.
Quite literally, yeah. Well, we were talking a little bit, and I know we referenced this in the last episode, but we were talking about, the Fallout Halo jump sequence where they do this really cool stunt for real, and it looks better because they did it for real, but they also have a lot of CG going on.
They darken the skies.
And it does kind of take away from it a little bit.
Totally.
Similarly, because this is more recent, and because I saw it in the theater, I saw the trailer a bajillion times, I saw the advertisements a bajillion times. I had seen Tom Cruise ride off the jump so many times before I saw the actual movie. Yeah, no, I'm not worried about being spoiled.
Okay.
I just mean that when he actually does it, it's a funny reveal that the camera sort of moves to the side a little bit, and you see that there's this giant sort of ramp that he could jump off of. But I think just because I had been accustomed to seeing it done for real on the real ramp they built up, and then you see it's this they CGI over it with a mountain or whatever and whatever. I think. Well, and I mean, listen, they were never gonna do something like this. It just won't. It's just not done. But if it were up to me, this is why I don't direct movies. But if it were up to me, they would have just left the ramp in and not CGI'd over it.
That's funny.
Because how much funnier would that be if Tom's like, how am I going to do it? Benji's like, you have to jump off. He's like, how am I going to do this?
Yeah.
And he looks over and there's a giant ramp,
They did it for like the Austrian X Games or something.
Yeah, you could have put a little logo on there. Like like Red Bull or something. Yeah. And then
the Red Bull ramp.
The Red Bull ramp. Yeah. Luther comes in, he's like, Ethan, there's
a
There's a Red Bull ramp. It's 500 meters away. And Ethan, but he does it, and it's the shot of him actually, like the camera, like I guess I assume it's a helicopter shot where it follows him off, and you see him, this little tiny little guy. I mean, it's quite impressive still. And when he's he's doing it for real.
Yeah.
And I love the shots of him in the air, Speaking of Luther, Ving Rhames does get a couple of good sort of speech moments where, it's nothing like, at the end of Fallout or whatever, he's talking to Ilsa Faust, and he's like, he can't live a normal life. He has to save the world time and again. But in this one, my favorite Luther parts are when he's talking with Ethan and they're sort of trying to game out the AI thing, right? And he's like, Ethan, you don't understand. The AI already knows you're going to do that.
Yeah.
You can't do that, and you can't do that, so you have to do a third thing.
Yeah.
And he's just so, like, Ving Rhames is so good at selling that dialogue. Like, it's expository and it's stupid and it's whatever. But it's just, he has so much gravitas, and it's just so funny, like, the relationship, just because he's been around in all these movies. When he's telling Ethan what to do, I'm like, Ethan, you better listen to him.
Yeah.
Like, he knows you better than you know yourself. Ving Rhames in Homicide, David Mamet's Homicide.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, and actually a really pretty interesting role where he is like a central antagonist who is brought up at the beginning and is seemingly the focus of the movie, but you never see him, and then is sort of referenced throughout, and then you only see him actually at the very end for like one big scene, and he fucking nails it. Like, of course, right? I don't know, just a great actor.
It all comes back to Mamet.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, Mamet is a real life Mission Impossible villain these days. So what are you gonna do?
There's a great scene early on where they're doing we've seen this scene before, Ethan's trying to like hunt someone down in an airport. Meanwhile, you got Shea Wiggum.
Yes.
Chasing Ethan.
A great addition. And Greg Tarzan Davis.
And
that's his name.
Tarzan Davis.
I know. I love that nickname. Oh, is that because... Okay, so he's credited as Greg Tarzan Davis. Greg Tarzan Davis is one of the carryovers from freaking Top Gun.
Okay.
Is his code name in that Tarzan? Is that why they call him that? No.
I don't know. His
code name's something else. Anyway, whatever. Basically, it's, Shea Wiggum, like, causing chaos and being, like, a bad cop who, like, chases people. And Greg Tarzan Davis is, like, his sidekick who's like, oh no, don't do that. Or like, let's keep the peace. Yeah. They're pretty fun. And I'm excited to see them again.
There's a great moment where he's like Ethan Hunt, he's gone rogue or something. And he's like, he always goes rogue. It's like what he does. And then I guess Tarzan Davis is the one who's like, maybe there's a reason he keeps going rogue. Like maybe he's right to go rogue all the time. And he's like, what are you talking about?
The Wiggum character is like total reactionary, like just doing his job without even thinking about it. And then Greg Tarzan Davis is like, the thinking man's policeman, He's like, that is such a funny scene that they finally reference that where Shea Wiggum's just like, they're always going wrong.
Yeah, it was really funny.
Haven't you seen the last 5 movies?
Yeah. And, but anyway, in this airport scene, like Tom Cruise is like kind of tailing Gabriel, Shea Wiggum's tailing Tom. And then meanwhile you have Benji who's in the like, the baggage conveyor system or whatever, and he ends up discovering a bomb seemingly left by the entity. And it's like, what are those types of puzzles called? Like, I think there's one in the Da Vinci Code, like a codex or something like that.
Yeah, something like it is like that.
It's like a cylindrical, like lettered puzzle frickin' cube. It's like the it's like the lament configuration in Hellraiser or something like that. Benji's like summoning Cenobites in the baggage handling station. But that scene was very preposterous and funny to me because like he ends up having to like solve riddles or something like that.
Yeah, not particularly complex either.
No, like what's always coming and never arrives, and everyone's like, what's always coming and never arrives, and then Haley Atwell overhears and she's like, that moment where she looks up and goes, tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's really funny, corny stuff.
Yeah, it's great.
It's like they're less complicated riddles than like riddles in the dark in The Hobbit with like Gollum or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's just so weird that the entity would create a bomb that could be solved only by Benji Dunn seemingly because it references his name or something.
Yes.
And then it's a fucking like riddle bot. It's really...
And then it's a dud too. There's nothing in it.
It was a prank. It was all a prank.
It's just a prank, bro.
Yeah, harmless prank, honestly, if you think about it.
Sorry,
Preposterous.
it is preposterous. And that is the point I remember, I mean, as Jordan brought up as well, where it's like, are they going to make this like about family like the Fast and Furious movies?
Yeah.
Where it's like, what's most important to you? And he's like, I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it. And it's like, and then Ving Rhames is being like, just tell them the truth, And he's like, I'm worried about my friends, and it's just like, I guess, or is that really the big thing at stake now?
Well, I mean, at this point, they keep trying to cue it up to being the women, but they keep just introducing like new women. You know what I mean? Like Simon Pegg's been around for a few movies, I guess.
Yep.
Ving Rhames. Unfortunately, we do not have Jeremy Renner, Alec Baldwin.
No.
Rebecca Ferguson's gone bye-bye.
Yeah.
So it is funny that these are the core 3, I guess, that we're supposed to have like a lot of like attachment towards.
Yeah, some. I did some research into Greg Tarzan Davis.
Okay.
So his professional acting name is Greg Tarzan Davis.
That's great.
And it's because Tarzan was his nickname as a kid. And when he chose, when he's doing his professional acting name, I mean, Greg Davis, like, it's a pretty normal name.
Tarzan, however.
Greg Tarzan Davis, that's a great name.
Yeah.
His code name he's Coyote in Top Gun.
I'll see it eventually.
Greg Tarzan Coyote Davis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
That is really cool. Thank you for sharing.
I know. I was like, is that did he just love his time on Top Gun that he's like, All right, I'm going to be called Tarzan for the rest of my life. No, he is Coyote. Yeah. He's not one of the main guys. He's one of the, he's one of the main guys, but he's not like Rooster or whatever, Iceman Jr. or whatever.
Tarzan's a cooler name than Coyote.
Yeah, it's true. It is cool.
He's a wild man.
Yeah, but coyotes are wild. You ever think about that?
Oh, you know what? I didn't.
You ever seen a Toronto coyote? They're around here.
I've seen a coyote.
I've seen a few.
Too.
You gotta be careful.
I've seen a coyote or two.
Yeah, don't get bit.
No.
Trust me. Trust me, man. Yeah, what else happens? I mean, that's pretty much it, right?
There's got to be another big set piece we're not talking about.
Yeah, probably.
There's that whole sequence at the beginning where he's like racing through the desert to find Rebecca Ferguson with a eye patch.
Ah, so cool.
Well, cool.
This is the most Metal Gear Solid of the whole thing, right?
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
That's a great way to put it.
The most Kojima-esque or Kojima-ian of the bunch, for sure, right?
I would completely agree with that.
Yes. Yeah, and oh god, at the beginning when he's in the mask as like some weird looking white haired guy, right? And he sneaks into the meeting, the CIA briefing with Kittredge, right? And he puts, as soon as you see him with the goggles and the respirator thing, like it's holding the little green goblin ball.
Yeah.
Love it.
Very Kojima, great. Very Metal Gear.
Yeah, and it's fun too, right? Because then Kittredge is like, well, how are you going to get out of here? Because now they know that he stole the identity of his aide or whatever,
and he puts on
the Kittredge mask, and then Kittredge is like, "Oh, just another day in the office." He has a dumb line like that, right?
Yeah.
Where what does he fucking say? He says like, "Oh, of course." Like,
wah, 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 wah. There is a line where someone's like, the IMF, and he's like, the International Monetary Fund.
The guy says when he's telling him to the Dread Pirate Roberts, Cary Elwes. He says, they say IMF, and he says the World Bank, and then he corrects him and says the International Monetary Fund.
Yeah.
That's one for us IMF World Bank heads.
Yes.
For us money makers.
An Easter egg.
Yeah, a little Easter egg for the thinkers in the room.
For the boys who love the Benjamins.
For the boys who love the Benjamins. Yeah. That's my fan club.
Yeah.
I got a lot of them.
Yeah, we are strong. We are legion.
Yep. I should mention too, please come see Cherub.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cherub. Please, if you're listening to this and you live in the beautiful city of Toronto.
Best city in the goddamn world.
Please come to see Cherub at the Paradise Theater, June 22nd, 3 p.m. I know, it's fucking funny. But it's at 3 p.m., which I think is a great time to see a movie. Sunday at 3 p.m. Because you can go.
I'll be there.
Yep, Alex will be there. You can relax. You can not worry about the Sunday scaries, and then when the movie's over, you'll still have an evening ahead of you where you can worry about having to go to work the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you will have seen a movie starring Ben.
Yep. And, I'll do a Q&A, presumably.
Ben will sign autographs.
I'll sign all sorts of. I'll sign anything. I'll sign autographs. I'll sign titties. I'll sign balls.
sign my balls.
Sign my balls. I'll do it.
Got to kind of stretch them out to get a clear canvas.
I will sign anything. If you present me with a legal document that will ruin my life, I'll sign it. If you present me with something that's like all of Ben's DVDs are now the property of, the
World Bank.
The World Bank, I'll sign it. Anyway,
you heard it here first.
Yep. Please come to that, and we'll be promoting that until it happens.
Yeah.
Several more episodes until then. So,
enjoy.
Yeah. Anything else to say about this movie? What do you think?
I
don't think so.
No, I think it's very, in a post Fallout Mission Impossible world, it like knows what Fallout did well, and it tweaks it in a way that makes it sillier, which is not necessarily a bad thing.
Nope.
You can go for like a little silly romp.
It's a romp.
It's a romp.
It's a romp.
At the end of this franchise, we're about to see the last one. It's fun. It's a good time. They're not bad movies. They are surreal in their own way. It's like a valiant effort. you know, like that they even tried to do what they did. They scaled the heights that they did, like Ethan Hunt free soloing in the second one, you know.
Yes.
They, God bless them, Tom Cruise almost single-handedly came up with a competitor to the James Bond film franchise, which had infinite more history and a pedigree attached to it.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's nothing to shake a stick at.
Nice. Do you think that to me sort of sounds like you've come around to it a little bit? Do you know?
Well,
you know what I mean?
I'm not a big James Bond guy either.
No, yeah, I know. No, fair enough.
But
you see what I like about these movies, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And like, you know, hearing you and all the guests talk, you know, with a creepy, almost creepy reverence for Tom Cruise.
Well, you know, reverence is as long as you understand that reverence is not an entirely positive.
Sure. Yes.
You know,
with a fascination for Tom Cruise.
That's more ambiguous. I like that.
Yeah. It's a fine franchise, Thomas.
It is a fine franchise. Yeah.
And I'm curious to see how it all comes to an end. And, you know, I kind of wrote it in my Letterboxd review. It's an interesting thing that happens with this pod when we do kind of like longer form franchise is you do develop some sentimentality for it, you know, even
Stockholm
syndrome
for sure.
Even like, you know, Paranormal Activity, which by and large those are bad movies, but I think of the title Paranormal Activity Next of Kin, and I just kind of like smile, you know, lightly, and I'm like,
ghost dimension.
Yeah.
Remember how excited, man? How the years that have passed. Yeah. I'm still not over the disappointment of the titular ghost dimension.
It was a knife in the back.
It was a knife in the front and the back, in the face and the crotch.
It was a brutal stabbing.
Yeah, it was a horrible prison style, like all over.
Kitty Genovese.
Who's that?
She was the woman who got like stabbed in New York and called out for help, and everyone heard her, but nobody reacted because they all thought someone else would react.
Good
it's like
Lord.
A thought experiment almost.
Interesting. Well, I guess it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sheesh.
Anyway, shout outs to the Ghost Dimension.
Yeah. Shout out to the Ghost Dimension, where if you haven't been there before, you're going to be there eventually. Yeah. We're all headed there, baby. We're all headed to the Ghost Dimension.
R.I.P. Tony Todd.
Yes. Yeah. Quite a good send-off. Yeah. Really. Genuinely. I was actually feeling a little emotional because it's still funny. You know, it's still him being like the Crypt Keeper, basically.
Yeah.
But, you know. And a beautiful send-off.
I imagine, you know, maybe we'll feel some type of way, some type of sentimentality at around 1:35 tonight when this movie is wrapping up.
Are we even going to be able to take the subway back?
I freaking hope so.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, you know what?
Right.
How many cruciform keys out of 5 would you give this movie?
You know, I think when I saw it in the theater, I sort of instinctually gave it an instinctual 4 stars.
Okay.
But looking back on it and watching them again in the context of the series, you know, it's more of a 3.5 for me, I would say.
Yeah.
But that's a strong 3.5. I thought it was very entertaining, and I enjoyed watching it again. And I'm looking forward to this one, even though, you know, the reaction has not been rapturous. I would say it has been perhaps muted, maybe a little bit. However, I'm seeing a lot of really good reactions too. And also, none of that stuff really matters to me. It's just fun, and I'm looking forward to having fun.
I'm just curious how they're going to, you know, tie together the whole entity, Gabriel plot threads, and
I don't know.
Kittredge, and what are they going to do with Palm Clementieff, and who are they going to bring back? And
can't wait.
Is Ethan Hunt going to die?
Is he going to die?
Is he going to sacrifice himself?
Is he going to die?
The ultimate guy?
I don't know. Or, I mean, a lot of people have been suggesting, okay, well, he either lives or he dies. Or is he going to do like a Batman Dark Knight Rises thing where I
only wanted to see you in a veranda in Venice. I fantasized about going and seeing you in a cafe with your wife and your children. That's what he does.
Yeah, exactly. Is it going to be that right? Where like
Ethan Hunt.
It'd be funny if they brought Michael Caine in for this movie. He's like
I've buried enough members of the Hunt family.
Yeah, exactly, right. Where he comes in and he's like, the entity is the most scariest man I've ever seen.
I see the entity. I see the League of what was the Rogue Nation called again? What were they called? The Shadow Syndicate? The Syndicate?
Oh, the Syndicate.
I see the Syndicate. He says, I see the League of Shadows.
Yeah. Yeah. Batman Begin.
Yeah.
You remember he tweeted that. He tweeted Batman Begin.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the best tweets. It'd be okay, so my prediction, Ethan Hunt will Dark Knight Rises because they're going to introduce a new character.
A new girl.
Michael Caine.
Okay.
Michael Caine playing Alfred, the Alfred of the Mission Impossible universe.
Pennyworth.
Where he comes in and he's like, and Tom Cruise is like, well, let's call him, what's something like Alfred? Al. He's like, Al.
It's my old butler, Al.
My old caretaker on the Hunt estate, Al. And he's like, oh, Mr. Wayne. I mean, Hunt.
Mr. Hunt.
Oh, Mr. Hunt. I've buried too many members of the Hunt family. He says family too.
Family.
And he's gonna come back and
Isla's not dead.
Yeah, Isla. Yeah.
Isla?
Ilsa.
Fuck me, man. Complicated names.
Ilsa's not dead. Michael Caine is there. And the other prediction, Gabriel is going to get killed in some fashion. It'll be funny. The AI is going to be killed by Tom Cruise, and he's going to make sure no AI takes over the world, and especially not Hollywood. And he's going to, the movie ends with Tom Cruise rewriting all of the SAG Guild rules, right? To make sure AI is not a part of any of that. And it kills AI in Hollywood for once and for all.
I wonder if they're going to do like a credit crawl with like every character who's been in these, like in the Avengers, and everyone's going to cheer. So and when Tom Cruise's face comes up, everyone just fucking explodes, chicken jockey style.
Chicken jockey, yeah. There's a couple chicken jockey moments in the movie, I've heard, yeah.
He does have to fight a chicken jockey.
Yeah, I've heard about that. I'm not looking forward to that part.
Yeah. It's going to be a bloodbath.
It will be. Well, anyway.
Yeah, we're off. We're off to the movies.
We'll be back. You'll see. We'll come back. You'll see. She'll be back. You'll see. You'll see.
Count on
she
it.
left. Oh, yeah, she left. I'll admit it. But she'll be back.
She'll be back.
Oh, you'll see. That's a character I've been working on for years. It's a guy who's like, his wife left him. And he's like, she'll be back. Oh, no, you'll see. You'll see. Oh, yeah, she's gone. Oh, no, she's gone.
She left.
But she'll come back.
She took the kids.
She'll be back. She'll be back. You'll see.
You're stepping over a line, man.
Okay.
You're stepping over a line. You know you are. I'm just telling you right now, put your manners back in.
We are the gold standard. You're back there in Hollywood making movies right now because of us. Because they believe in us and what we're doing. I'm on the phone with every studio at night. Insurance companies. Producers. And they're looking at us and using us to make their movies. We are creating thousands of jobs, you I don't ever want to see it again. Ever. And if you don't do it, you're fired. And I see you do it again, you're gone. And anyone on this crew does it. That's it. And you too, and you too, and you. Don't you ever do it again. That's it! No apologies. If you tell it to the people that are losing their homes because our industry is shut down, it's not going to put food on their table or pay for their college education. That's what I sleep with every night. In the future of this industry. So I'm sorry, I'm beyond your apologies. I have told you, and now I want it. And if you don't do it, you're out. We are not shutting this moving down! Is it understood? If I see it again, you're gone. And so are you. So you're going to cost him his job. If I see it on the set, you're gone. And you're gone. That's it. Am I clear? Do you understand what I want? Do you understand the responsibility that you have? Because I will deal with your reason. And if you can't be reasonable, and I can't deal with your logic, you're fired. That's it. That is it. I trust you guys to be